In the last day, we're going to start looking at what we call the slope-intercept form of a line. It's called the slope-intercept because we're given the slope and we're given the y-intercept. And the slope-intercept form of a line is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. In example 1, all we're going to do is identify the slope and the y-intercept from each of these lines. So if we take a look at letter A, we have f of x is equal to negative x plus 2. So the first thing we want to do is we want to identify what the slope is. And slope is what we're going to call the letter m. And if we look at the slope should be the number attached to the x, or the number being multiplied by x. In this equation, the x has a negative 1 in front. So that negative by itself, remember, is a negative 1. So we could say the slope here is negative 1. Then we want to find our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is what we call the b value in our equation. And if we take a look at our slope-intercept form, b is the number that's being added or subtracted to our x term. So in this equation here, the number being added or subtracted to x is 2, which means our y-intercept is 2. And you can write it as 2. You can also think of it as the ordered pair 0, 2. If we take a look at the next line, it's y equals 6. So let's rewrite this so it looks more like the slope-intercept form. So if we do that, we get y equals, there is no x term here, so it would be 0x and then plus 6. So you should start recognizing that a y equals some number, that this is just a horizontal line. And we know the slope of horizontal lines. Even without having to rewrite it this way, we should be able to look at that line right there and say, I know the slope is 0 of any horizontal line. So here I would say slope is equal to 0, and my y-intercept, that's the number that's being added on, or just the number that's here, and that's 6. Then if we look at the last equation that we have, y equals x plus 6 over 2, this isn't quite in the form that we want it to be in. We want two separate terms here. So just like back in chapter 3, instead of dividing everything by 2, we can split that up and divide them separately. So we can say that this is x divided by 2 plus 6 divided by 2. And when we do that, we should also note that in front of the x here is just a 1. So we can write this as 1/2 x plus 3 by splitting it up. This and this are the exact same thing. Again, it's just split up and simplified a little bit. So if we want to come up with what the slope is, we can say the slope of this line, which is the number attached to the x being multiplied, is the 1/2. And my y-intercept of this line is going to be that positive 3, that number that's being added on. So we could say 3, again, if you want to think of it as an ordered pair, it would be 0, 3. What I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to attempt to try this. There are 2 of them. So do both of them, find the slope, the y-intercept, and then check your answer. So go ahead and pause it now. If you did number 1 correctly, you should have gotten that the slope was equal to 4 and that your y-intercept was negative 9. Don't miss that negative. In the second one, what you should be noticing in that second problem is that this is a vertical line. Oops. And you should know by now that vertical lines have a slope that's undefined. So your slope here is undefined because it's just an x equals equation. And if you think about a vertical line, if this is my x and y axis, if this is my vertical line, and we think about when it crosses over the y-axis to get a y-intercept, you can see that it never crosses over. So for your vertical lines, there is going to be no y-intercept. If you have any questions, let me know.